live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Anthony. Welcome, Danny. Wow, what a week we've had. Any initial reflections on crossing 5 millions? Danny, you counted us down last time we were here, made us very excited about the 250, 400, and then we passed the million mark as we all sat in the last AMA. How are you feeling now?
Wow, I mean, what a week it has been, right? Hey, Shane. Hey, Alex. To give you the latest numbers right now, we're looking at $5.82 million from 6,563 new partners in the SwissBorg venture that we're going towards together. So it's been crazy this week. We've been super hard at work trying to improve on the Launchpad. The engineers have been working like crazy, but at the moment it seems to be very much worth it. And we're so glad that we have over 6,500 people join us in this adventure.
And I hope you're going to be getting some sleep during the weekend, at least a couple of hours, because I know the hours that we've been pushing, and it's just crazy. Shane, I'm going to give the mic over to you. I can't believe that I got to do the intro with you on the same AMA. How is this possible?
I don't know, but you two are young boys. You don't need your sleep. Sleep when you're dead or when you've raised the money. You guys look great. You know what I mean? You don't look a day over 21 years old. Believe me, you don't need sleep. What you do need is you need opportunity, to need preparation, and that equals luck. It equals success in our book, and it has been a killer week from everybody involved. It's been really, really great, and lovely to be ending it on a high, gentlemen.
Was that a sneaky little quote? Because I remember that from The Richest Man in Babylon, when he goes, opportunity is when perseverance meets dedication. If you continuously work and strive towards something, opportunities will present yourself, just like now with the Launchpad.
That's it. Hard work, hustle, which I know everybody's been doing this week. But really, I think today's M&A is really what we're all about, and that's Ask Me Anything and answering questions. And I'm really eager to try to be as value add and as efficient to our community, and hopefully we can get through a lot of those questions today.
Definitely. I want to also give a shout out to our community. Thank you for giving us so much feedback. Hi to Shane's little son, I think, popped up in the background. Pleasure to see the even younger generation already interested in this. But I think it's incredible to see the level of community engagement that we're seeing. Thank you so much for giving us the feedback. We're trying to incorporate as much of it as possible. Maybe you can share a little bit on that, Daniel, because I know that the card has been something that's been discussed, and we might actually, is that something that we can publicly speak about?
Absolutely. So as you guys know, this first week we started with the card as the very first perk. SwissBorg is all about community, making it fun, making it fair, and community-centric. So the fun part was adding this little spice to the whole operation and giving the first investors the opportunity to get an amazing and long-awaited SwissBorg limited edition partners debit card. I think it's really important to talk about it now. I don't know if there's specific questions about it, but I can give you a quick overview of things that have changed since the beginning of the week. We set out the week with this super ambitious target of $10 million, which was arbitrary. It's super hard to do those kind of numbers because we really have nothing to base yourself on. So we went like, okay, 10 million, that would be absolutely crazy and amazing. And we realized that by tonight, which is when the timer would have ended, we would not have reached 10 million. We've done an amazing exercise of $6 million, which realistically is crazy as well. But the original terms and conditions said that, well, if we don't reach 10 million, no one's going to get a card. But we wouldn't be SwissBorg if we did that. So I'm here with the excellent news for everybody watching that we've slightly amended the terms in the sense that everybody that invests within the first 10 million will get a card. So the other term still stands. The minimum remains at 1,500 Swiss francs or USDC, but you must be within the first 10 million bucks. So 60% is gone already. The last 4 million will have the chance to get their card at the same conditions. And once we reach 10 million and one, it's over. No more cards. So that's the new thing. I think it's super exciting. It gets us a bit of a milestone as well, which is always nice to have. And so that's hopefully very good news for the entire community, who can rest assured that their investment has been taken into heart and they will get their cards that's been long promised to them.
Oh, awesome. Great result. Really, really fantastic for the people that get in that first 10 million. That's really cool.
I love it. And I think this is a great example of what really SwissBorg is doing that's so unique. really in a matter of a week turning around a quite substantial launch plan and being like, you know what, community is right. Let's pivot. Let's do what they're suggesting, and let's find a way to meet this. To me, I think it's beautiful. I also want to make sure that today, because we've been, and I take the blame for this, been a bit bad in taking live questions during the previous AMAs. So I don't know, Benny, you're our back-end engineer for this one. Please feel free to push questions live as you spot some interesting ones.
Alex, don't we also have some? Oh, it seems like Roman's come in. We also have, I see, an Excel spreadsheet with some questions on it that we can refer to, but I think we've just had some questions coming in. So why don't we tackle that first, which is live on the screen?
So first question from Romain Morgan Springer. Thank you so much. You're a legend in the community. Question 1, when card more or less, and small explanation on its advantages. And if not, tonight 6 million, bravo. Thank you so much.
Alex, my dear Swedish brother, you can't call him Romain. His name is Romain.
Romain.
I'm so sorry, but if I'm going to say these names accurately, I do apologize, Romain, but I butcher names left and right. My Swedish is not as beautiful as the French language, so I might butcher some names. But I'm going to slide this question over to you, Danny.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, big shout out to Romain, who's an, as you said, absolute legend in the community. Here's what we can say about the card. The obvious answer is as soon as possible. Realistically, we think that within 2000, so we're very advanced already. We know who the provider is going to be. We know what the terms are going to be. We know how we can produce them, at what price. All of this is well established. It now depends on how many cards we need to produce, depending on the fundraise. So we necessarily need to wait for that to end, which is going to be Q1 2023. And from then onwards, we can start a production cycle. So realistically, I'd say throughout 2023, I'm unable to confidently give you precise date. I wish I could. I'd be lying. So, as soon as we can, hopefully early 2023, if not mid 2023. But around those dates is really where we try and hope to get this card turned around.
So just to be clear, Danny, it would usually be activated post the completion of the fundraise. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
At the moment, yeah, correct. I don't think there's much more.
Excellent, but it's coming.
It is coming, and soon.
Right.
Absolutely, and hopefully very soon. Like it's going to be a matter of a few months. Like we really are in the finalizing stages. To give you a bit more context about this card, we've got an amazing team which we call the Galactic Constructors within SwissBorg, and the Galactic Constructors are building. They are constructing to the galaxy, and one of those constructions in the middle of the space is that card, and they've done a great job so far. With them, we are determining as well what the conditions will be. Again, today I cannot say too much about them yet, but I think it's part of the excitement of not knowing what's going to come and keep everybody a bit on the toes. What's sure is that we are going to try to include as many benefits as we can. Obviously, always taking into account the community aspect of SwissBorg with the premium CHSB, etc. All of this will be included in some form. The exact details will come very soon.
Awesome, and it's just to start. And I know with typical SwissBorg, when we release a product, we nail the tech and the integration, and then we can always add on as we go forward from that. No doubt you're going to deliver on that. And I want to know, why am I not in this Galactic group, man? That sounds like right up my street. I need to be in that gang. How did I not get in there? Like,
it's only for the cool kids at SwissBorg, Shane.
Oh, listen, don't you worry, buddy. Cool and kids are two things that I do very, very well. Kicking ass and taking names is something else as well. You'll find that out. All right, let's crack on. Let's keep going. What else have we got?
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to see. When will we be able to see our investment in the Launchpad Series A in our SwissBorg application? Good question.
Okay, integration.
Absolutely. Very, very relevant question. That's the next priority. So right now we are completing the fundraise. We are hoping that even perhaps before the fundraise is over, you will already be able to see your shares on the SwissBorg app. There's some really cool things about these shares. You will be able to transfer them. There's in the shareholders agreement, there's a clause that allows you to transfer them. The eventual goal, and it's a big goal, so please take it with a pinch of salt. The eventual goal is to have a secondary market for those shares. Obviously, the big issue with that is liquidity. But we are going to build our way towards it, and really this Launchpad serves as a stepping stone for secondary markets of all kinds of assets. The first version of it will likely be a sort of share smart cent, where I'm able to shares, to send my shares to someone else through a smart chain functionality, which is already incredible, right? So you'll be able to gift shares to someone else. Obviously, always being compliant with the shareholders agreement, but this is really the direction we're going. So to answer the question, the shares will be visible in the app. Yes, hopefully very, very soon. The development team is on it. Right now, we're still doing a few bug fixes on the actual Launchpad, but as soon as that's done, that's the imminent next mission. So you will see them. It'll be beautifully displayed as always on the SwissBorg app, and then hopefully we can add a whole bunch of functionality behind it. That's the aim of the game, and that's what we're going to be working on over the next few months.
I suppose, Danny, it's a real benefit that as our community members invest and become partners, it's all on our app. So the data and the proof of payment and the funding of those shares is all obviously recorded internally, which is great. That doesn't usually happen when you have to go to a third-party Launchpad or when you have to go and subscribe externally with a broker dealer when you're looking at these type of investments. So I think what you're saying is all the data is there. It's just a matter now of getting that data and presenting it, and that in itself, from the production team and tech team, just takes a little bit of time, I suppose, to get absolutely right.
Absolutely. You know, we need to make the UI and the UX fit. But to your point, and it's a very, very good point, if you look on your statements, on your end of year statements, you would already be able to see the purchase of those shares as soon as they go through. So for tax reasons, all of this, it's immediately compliant. You don't have anybody watching, and this might be a question that you have asked yourself. You don't have to worry about the tax year 2022 because the shares will be issued in 2023. So even if you bought them now, they will only be issued in 2023. So it will only be relevant for next tax year. And everything will be on the SwissBorg app. So super easy, as always, one PDF or one Excel sheet, and you go.
Oh, that's excellent. That's really cool. Okay, let's keep rocking. What's the next question, guys?
Yes, and I just found the comment section, so I can actually read some.
Oh, well done.
And I
can.
Welcome to the call, and you found the comment section. I'm glad you're not in the Galactic team.
Yeah, it's probably good that I'm not writing any codes in the back end anymore. Okay, we're gonna get to your question. I just see one quick one that I think we can answer. Is the debit card usable worldwide? Yes, we're partnering with Visa, right? They're the provider. So anywhere you would normally be able to use a Visa, you will be able to use the SwissBorg card. I also saw when cashback on the Magic Square collab. So all of that is going to be settled after the crowdfunding, right? First, we need to complete the crowdfunding, and then we're going to have a form that everybody's that participated in either of the NFT collaborations are going to get to fill out, and we're going to have that ready to distribute at the end of the crowdfunding. Sorry, now Ovi. Worth it to invest only 100 CHF in series? I mean, I have my answer. Should we go around the table? And I would say, okay, regardless of what you want to invest, right? I would ask, I'm going to sound like Anthony now, which is not the intention, but why are you investing? Do you believe in SwissBorg? Do you think that this is a great community? Okay, that's legit what I would say. So I would say, dude, if you have 100, yes, that's definitely worth it to invest. 100% over. Okay, I'm not going to do an Anthony speech. I'm going to pass it to Shane and Danny.
Well, first of all, it's awesome that any of our community members are speaking with their hard-earned capital, and whether it be 100 Swiss francs or 100,000. We welcome you as a partner. Of course, you've got to make your own call on that, and this is not financial advice. You've got to do your own due diligence and only feel comfortable what you're willing to invest in. And if it's 100 for you, then I'm more than happy. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll match you. Send me your address. I'll send you $100 of CHSB tokens, and now it's 200. How about that? So thank you very much for showing us.
Yes.
I'll match you.
Love that.
And I'll
how
give it
many
to
people are you going to do
this?
this? How many people are you going to do this for? Anybody that is going to do 100, just let Shane know in the comments and tag Shane.
He's got 200. He's doubled his investment already. He's already up 100%. What can I say? It would be my gift to you. It's Christmas. Thank you so much for your faith.
This is why I love this community. I mean, where else would you have this than right here? Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, I think Benny, shoot us with another question. Otherwise, you risk me going into the comments, and then I might get lost again. Have the early sale funds been taken into account in the current progress bar of the Launchpad?
No.
Sorry, Danny, do you want to say that again?
Super short answer. The answer is no. So what you see on the progress bar is purely the community sale fundraise. So behind that, there's a whole bunch of, which I'm not sure if I'm legally allowed to disclose how much it is, but there's even more funding that's behind it, meaning that SwissBorg is even in a better position. As you guys know, we had an early bird sale, like same way as a concert works. There's all the early bird tickets. In this case, this was very, very much the same thing, and so we had a bunch of people who invested in that already. And so, but this is not what we take into account. So the 6 million is truly the hard work of our community watching us today that invest in the public sale. So that's what's incredible about it. We're not even like trying to up the number with some other number that we already had. No. This is literally all the investment that happened from when we launched on Tuesday until now, which is $6 million almost. It's absolutely incredible.
Nice. So, Benny, I think that you've showed a couple of questions there, but I didn't have the time to read them. So maybe if you want to upload it again, otherwise I can go through the comments. I see one. Are you guys partying in London on Monday? Well, Shane is partying every day, but I think there might be specific that they're asking about. For the people that don't know, Shane actually used to be a DJ at Minister of Sound, so he can turn it up when needed. But I'm going to let you take what's happening on Monday in London.
Monday in London looks like it's going to be an absolute roadblock. I think we have several hundred people already committed to coming down. I know Cyrus is actually getting into town a little bit earlier that day, and we've got some really great meetings set up for Cyrus. Also, we were lucky enough to secure Cyrus an interview with Brian Rose on London Real. For some of you who have been very much interested in interviews in the long form, and particularly crypto and world events, Brian Rose is probably the Joe Rogan of London or the Joe Rogan of Europe. And Cyrus is actually going to be doing a long form interview at midday on Monday. So that's going to be really cool, because I think Cyrus is going to do what he does and really talk about, the vision, the history, and where we're going. Of course, there's going to be lots of really great content related to SwissBorg, and to the Series A. So that's going to be really, really cool. And then we go on from that. I think we're going to have a lunch with some folks, and after that, then we are going to have a kicking off at we're going to have a kicking off meeting at 6 p.m. in Tech Space in London. As I said, I think it's going to be really, really busy. And I think the format of that night, I don't think we've fully confirmed it, but I think really what I would like to do with Cyrus is kind of have like a really cool fireside chat and actually talk about maybe the year in crypto, which might be really nice to know, and maybe go kind of through it month by month, and then talk about SwissBorg and the history, and then talk about where we're going. I think this particular event is all going to be about SwissBorg and Cyrus. I didn't want to have 3 or 4 different speakers talking about various topics. I think we're going to keep it really focused on the SwissBorg community. So by all means, there is a party in London, and if you come, please come up and introduce me, and I'm buying the first round. I'll take you out after, and I'll buy the first round.
Amazing, I love it. I'm just going to. Yeah, I was about to say Shane is just giving you away. I found another comment here in the chat that says about the Launchpad. Will it be possible to top up more later in 2023? Really good question.
Super good question. It depends. So you can top up now already. You can top up an unlimited amount of times. In fact, what we are building now from the team is a way for you to overview all your transactions, because we've seen a huge amount of people who actually invested more than once. So you'll be able to see where exactly, when you transacted, how much, etc. The question is 2023, I don't know. If the 25 million are gone, they're gone, my friend. Once the 25 million are gone, whether that's in tomorrow, in a week's time, or on the 13th of January, that's the last day you'll be able to invest. So technically, yes, although there's no promise that this will still be live in January.
So I think what you're saying, just for clarity purposes, Danny, is that during the book building period of this tranche, as long as there is still some equity left, you can buy several times. But of course, once we fill that, then the tranche is then closed, we're completed, and there'll be no more opportunities.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Are you saying tranche, Shane, or what are you saying? Tranche. What is a tranche?
A tranche, like a tranche, like a. It's, if you Google it, right, that's a really great way for finding out really great information. You see what an actual tranche
Such
is.
a savage on a Friday afternoon.
Can someone post the definition of tranche in the comments? That way, Alex will not see it.
Some guy tranche.
A trench.
A tranche.
We're doing the same hand gesture, but we're saying different things. I trust you guys on this. I'm going to read the question right below it from, I think, Toby. Question: will you be looking for VC investments later on? Shane, you know the VC world quite well.
Yeah, I think there is a time and a place to have external venture capital. Venture funds do a lot of things very, very good. And scaling businesses is something that, if you have the right venture partner, it can work really, really well. Businesses that have already been scaled, are they geographically, are by numbers. So I think really what any plan would be for a company like us, which is experiencing growth, is that you raise some money initially to get you to the next point of your roadmap. And then obviously once you get to that next roadmap, it's like climbing a mountain. You want to get to that next base camp, and you need help. And so the help can come in various different forms, whether it be community or through venture. And I think everything is probably on the table. The great thing about equity investors is that not particularly to SwissBorg, but in capital formation generally, when there is another round, it usually comes at a higher valuation. And so when you're raising money, it's not at the valuation that you got in, and it's at a much higher valuation. And subsequently, what that actually relates to is that your equity goes up in value. So I think everything is possible. And as we scale a business, I think that it's always smart to have various different sources of capital inflow. And that can be community, that can be venture, or that could be the traditional equity markets. So I think everything is probably on the table over a long period of time. But today we're focusing on the Series A.
Nice. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we do have a tag and drag along in the shareholders, which would mean that when we take on, if and when in the future, hypothetically, we take on investors or do an IPO or do anything like that, everybody that is a partner now will most likely stand to benefit quite substantially.
100%. Everybody, yeah. That's the whole point.
Yeah. So that's another great benefit. If you don't just like our faces and love the community, there is also the potential financial upside, which, of course, no financial investment advice. Welcome, Anthony. Nice of you to join.
Speaking of new faces, look how relaxed and good Anthony.
Just showing up. Wait. Just 22 minutes late to the meeting, but okay.
That's true. You shouldn't be allowed in.
That's what you can do when you're the co-founder. You can just show up. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Interns get fired over this. I'm just saying.
Sorry.
Anthony,
sorry, guys.
how are you?
I'm very good. I'm so sorry because I was actually in another interview that was supposed to last for 30 minutes. And you know, guys, how much I love to talk, and actually it will last for an hour and a half. So, but everything is good. Like we talk so much about the fundraise and all this stuff.
Well, listen, it's awesome that you're joining us. We've kicked off a traditional AMA. We've had about maybe half a dozen questions so far. And what we're doing now, Anthony, is that questions are coming up on the screen, and we're just getting through and answer them. Danny's done a fantastic job. And our guy Alex is being a little bit smart, but because he's actually wearing a SwissBorg hat, I'm going to leave him alone this time. So we're all in good company, and great to have you join us.
I'm all merged up, and actually, I just saw one comment in the comments field that I really want to highlight, and it was, sorry, I'm going to see if I can find it. Dadex, you absolute legend. How can we add referral code on the Launchpad site? Danny, how can people use a referral?
How indeed. Beautiful question. Today we shipped a new update that you can, first of all, see your referral at any given point throughout the flow. So if you go now on launchpad.swissborg.com, you'll see a beautiful little button that says invite friends in the menu section. You can invite your friends. You'll see the terms and conditions of the referral codes and your own referral code. Now, every single time, so now you can share this referral code, and every single time one of your referees does make an investment at the end of the flow, they'll have the chance to input your referral code in there. It's not limited to time, meaning that you don't have, if you forget in the moment, you can come back, take a few minutes and put the referral code in there. We make it as simple as possible. Just know that at the moment, if this person were to do another buy flow and start a new flow, then the old purchase, we consider it over. So please make sure that you do input your referral code before you do a new purchase. That being said, there's a few edge cases where people wanted to put their referrals in, didn't have time. So we will add in the future as well a way that you can, even down the line, input your referral codes to make sure that we capture 100% of the effort of our community that have been super hard preaching SwissBorg to their friends and family, and that they get rewarded accordingly. So short term, at the end of a transaction, long term, we'll even give you a second chance to input your referral code, not leaving anybody behind.
So get referring people, or I don't know if I can legally say that. Do whatever you want, but the option is there. Let's leave it at that. I actually saw one question right above it as well. Okay, we go. It changed from 220. Okay. So that
was a bit more technical, but I'm happy to go for it. We have 8. I'll make it short though to not confuse anybody. But we have 3 regional caps: one in francs, one in euros, one in pounds. The change just reflects forex change. The shares are quantified in Swiss francs, are like a tracker of the progress bar, takes in account all 3 currencies. So as currencies fluctuate, the FX rates, it might fluctuate a little bit. We're actually going to fix it. It's a small little thing that we'll fix, and it's a firm rate. But at the moment, if you see a small percentage change, it's just the FX.
Awesome. Then we have an answer on that. I got 2 more questions from the comments here. One is from C. Jones asking, "Hi SwissBorg fam, can someone explain to me what the benefit of the Visa partner card is? Except for it being an absolutely awesome card, I assume." But Danny, I know that the Galactic squad, as galactic and awesome as they are discussing a bunch of different stuff, but I don't know how much we can. I think that's a bit too.
My dear friend C. Jones. I wish we could say more at the moment. The truth is that there's still a lot of details that in debate of how we're going to look at how it's actually going to work, what concrete benefits it's going to give you. So anything I would say now, I couldn't back it up with certainty. What we'd rather do is give a bit of time to come up with the final specs of the card, and then make a huge campaign about it and onboard other people as well. So what's sure is that the investors now are the only ones who will ever get this partners card, which apart from being awesome, because it's limited edition, might have different types of specs. But then obviously the idea is that we roll out a general card program for everybody who's in SwissBorg. It's just that they will never have the partners card that you guys are getting right now. Again, details will be confirmed down the line. I don't know if Anthony wants to add something high level to it, of what the card will help you to achieve, but I'm afraid at the moment we can't really get into too much details for legal reasons, among others.
Fortunately, now we have a lot of PM working very hard to make dreams reality. So I trust you guys to make the good decision. Now, but more concretely, yes. I mean, of course, there is an emphasis on the design more than anything else. So the benefit will be heavily linked to the SHSB, to be completely honest. So it's more on the design and the uniqueness of the card itself, and then the benefits such as the cashback will be very much linked to the SHSB.
Good answer there. I saw that Pierre. I don't want to butcher that last name. So Pierre, but which referral is it? Because I entered a referral code and it said the referral was wrong. So I think that either after you've done the investment or in the top bar right now, there should be invite a friend. And at the bottom, after you've done an investment, you got a little button that you can press. I think we have a how-to video being made for exactly showing you this flow. Is there a better way to explain that, Daniel?
In fact, I think Pierre, who's very active on Twitter as well, and I salute him, Pierre Majerus, it's the same code as the one you have in the app. It's if you go on rewards, you can see that the link is something like swissborg.com/your first 4 or 5 letters of your first name plus a string, which is alphanumerical. It's this last part. It's your first name plus the string. That's the referral code. So doesn't matter where you get it from, always the same.
So not only did he say your name a lot more beautiful than I did, he answered the question a lot better than I did as well. And then we have one more from Vincent. Please let that just be Vincent. And yeah, I'm sorry I'm butchering your name now. Private sales investors will not get the card, ? I feel quite confident in saying that they will, right? Private sales investor will not get the card, ?
So the private sale, as you know, happened just before. The private sale had an amazing advantage that it gave you valuation discount. So that was the huge part. It's like an early bird ticket. It's the exact same psychology applied. So that was the main thing of the private sale. I do think that our lovely DRM team, who are taking care of everybody who was in the private sale, are coming up with something to distribute the card as well, because you guys are partners at the end of the day. I'm not really sure what the details are. I think you are going to get some kind of advantage. It's a minimal investment, given that you've already invested in the past. But the short answer is yes, you will get the card distributed at different terms, on top of the 20% valuation discount, which is obviously amazing.
Nice deal. So then we got a follow-up question to that. Is the card now gone because we didn't reach the 10 million? So Mosa P, so Daniel highlighted this before. So it's not by the end of the day we need to reach 10 million, but it's until we reach 10 million, you have a chance. If you invest now up until 10 million, you're going to get the card, my friend. So no worries there anymore. We're gonna see. Benny, do you have more questions? Is Siri I love your positivity. None of us, I think, in this call has slept in the last 7 days. Shane would be like, we don't need sleep.
We don't need sleep.
Very much look forward to it, at least. So
where we're going, we don't need sleep, right? Remember that. Just remember that, okay?
Wait, are you getting some Elon Musk Neuralink early access, or what do you mean? Where we're going, we don't need.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. I've got a few questions. Let me just refer to some of the questions we've been circling internally. What is the future of the Launchpad? Which projects do you intend will use it? Maybe you're going to give us some color on that. So that's a nice segue and a nice question that I suppose once we successfully complete our Series A, what will be the use of that Launchpad going forward, and what will be potentially those projects and companies that will use that in maybe Q1, Q2 of next year? Maybe I'll pass it over to you, Anthony, for starters, and then we can kind of fill in wherever.
Yeah, for sure. So we're already in discussion with some projects. Some of them are very close to us, so I'm not going to drop any names, but yeah. I think what we say is we want to be a qualitative Launchpad. So we haven't set yet a pace or an objective, but I would say if next year we do maybe 2 or 3 will be good. I think that's what will be required, especially now we, again, being a multi-asset Launchpad, I think that will always require to do some tweak into the design, but as well the contribution flow, depending on the type of project. So there will be always required a little bit of adjustment for any sales. But we have there is one of them I would love that we hosted, and most probably we will. And it will happen, I think, by March next year or something like this. Let's see.
Yeah, I think for any type of Launchpad, one of the key success factors is the quality of the deal flow. And I think we're lucky enough whereby we're not in a situation where that's our core business. It's an added benefit for being a SwissBorg community member. So I think when we move forward, strategically aligned deal flow, which has had the right correct due diligence, which is strategically aligned with the community and our beliefs, I think is really, really important. And I would agree with you. It's definitely not a quantity type, but more of a quality type. And those opportunities to make sure that they fit and they're vetted and the due diligence is done correctly. So I think it's going to be on a case by case. Obviously, I'm really, really proud that the first deal is our deal. And that comes with a certain amount of risk, but I think that we're all prepared to take that, and it's fitted very well with the tech team. So excited to see what opportunities will come, and certainly on our side, I think there's going to be no shortage of opportunities, but it's about picking the right opportunity with the right terms and conditions, with the right timing and the right fit. So yeah, really excited on that. Danny, was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
I think that was great. And I think that once again, it shows that the true color of SwissBorg. I would also encourage people that are accustomed to Launchpads, like look at what the total funding on some of these other Launchpads are, and you would be quite surprised that they might be doing 20, 30, 40 different projects, but then they're raising $100,000 or 200. So the SwissBorg one is, I haven't checked the leaderboard today, but we're climbing that leaderboard quite quickly. I think that the biggest Launchpad so far is Binance, and it's raised 45. Yeah, there's SwissBorg's Launchpad is climbing that leaderboard quite quickly with the sheer amount that we're raising. So
That's awesome. Can I keep it rolling with another question?
Yeah, sorry. Benji, serve us a new one.
I've got something on my side. Let me just shout it out. How will the Series A funding be used to accelerate SwissBorg's growth and deliver the 7-layer vision? So that's an interesting question, really talking about use of proceeds and how will it accelerate our growth and deliver the 7-layer vision. Maybe Anthony, I'll kick it off with you.
Yeah, I mean, again, I want to use this opportunity just to emphasize the fact that 100% of the money that is raised is going to be spent on SwissBorg to develop products. So basically, none of the shareholders today that are myself and the other executive in the company are going to sell any shares. So there is no monetization at this level. It's all dedicated to fund SwissBorg and to accelerate growth, because that's the best moment. Now, with regard to product development, the challenge for us next year is to integrate as well market, like to drive the product development and priority as a function of what we do see in the market. So we know by design there is products that are where the usage is going to be high in certain market phases, such as very strong bull market and this stuff, and other product that will do very well into this type of market. So namely maybe earn or thematic. I think there are beautiful products, but as well, they need additional tools, financial tools, such as DCA and all these things. So what we will do at the beginning of the year, because now you guys become shareholders, so as a shareholder, we have to show you what is the strategy, what do we see in 5 years from now, what do we see in 3 years from now, and how tactically, because that's the strategy for the long term, but then there is the tactical decision that we made every 3 months in order to get closer to the goal that is in 5 years. So we are going to document all this decision, and we are going to present it to you, because now you're part of the adventure and you have access to all these things. So I don't want to rush and today explain everything that we have, but you will get access, and I think we will do it with a documentation, but as well follow up by an AMA, where you guys will be get the chance to speak with me, with the CFO Jeremy, and the CEO, of course, Cyrus, and the people that will be part of this strategical committee. So as a CSO, I can tell you we've been working on it, and I think we are designing something that is that will help you as well to better understand the strategical decision that we'll be making.
If I may quickly add to that, concretely speaking to that question, if right now you go on the publicly available term sheets that are on the website as well as on the Launchpad itself, there is strictly delineated how those use of proceeds are going to work. And at the moment, what it tells you is that 60% of those funds will be going to direct financing research and development of technology and products. So that's really fostering products, which obviously will translate to new kind of utilities for CHSB and empowering the entire ecosystem as a whole. 10% of it will go for strategic licenses and regulatory approvals as we try and expand throughout the world and offer more services, licenses, and a strong regulatory position comes with it. And lastly, 30% will be used for growth as general, so for external acquisition, marketing campaigns, public relations, and so on. So again, in true SwissBorg fashion, we delineate with absolute transparency what these funds are going to be used for, and you can see that it's really here for us to bootstrap our growth and emerge from this bear market as European market leaders.
Amazing. So Benny, serve us another one. Shane, I know that you're eager to answer this, but actually I can do a quick one. Why is now a good time to invest? Because this image is so ingrained in my... So we've all
I think we might have just lost Alex.
Oh,
Right at his moment. Right at his moment. Alex, can you hear us?
Am I back? Now I can hear you. I was about to have my moment, and it
Yeah,
just
you
cut.
were.
Okay, I'm gonna do it now while I'm still.
Let's rewind. Let's start it again.
So
Come on. Let's give it to you.
We've all seen the market graphs, right? It goes up, peaks, down, valleys, and we've always learned you try and buy in the bottoms and you try and sell in the tops. Well, my lovely community, where are we right now? Right?
in the trenches.
We're in the trenches, quite literally. So if like every time you're looking at a market chart and you see the top and you go, I wish I sold there, and you look at the bottom and you go, I wish I bought there. This is of course not financial advice, but I would say, okay, we're literally in the deepest of trenches right now. And then comes along SwissBorg, one of the most reputable and established crypto actors in Europe, with a Launchpad that enables you to essentially buy into the house, no matter where the market is going. As long as there's people trading, SwissBorg is essentially the house, and you have an opportunity to buy into the house. To me, that is just opportunity. Of course, no financial advice. Now I've gotten that out of my system, and I'm going to pass it over to somebody else.
Thanks very much. Ultimately, from a timing perspective, first and foremost, the timing has to be right for you. It has to be right for the individual. You have to be able to be deploying capital and be willing to take a certain amount of risk given your own financial situation. That's pretty much basic investing. But when you start to look at asset allocation and you start to look at a potential like SwissBorg, well, I think what you really have to do is your own analysis in your own DD. But you certainly want to be buying into something, especially in the crypto space, that already has product market fit, that has already got traction, that's already shown that it can be regulated and can get regulation, and it's already shown that it has the ability to be profitable for the long term. All those things are quite clear at SwissBorg. And I think really, when speaking about myself, when I make proprietary investments, I'm looking at not necessarily where they've come from or where they are. That's really, really helpful. But it's always more importantly is where they're going and how they're going to do that. And so that can be massively differential for each and every investment. But what I've always tried to do was assign myself to potential investments that have the ability and track record of execution in the past and can apply that to what they know going forward. And I think with everything that we've talked about over the last several weeks, SwissBorg definitely ticks all those boxes. So from my perspective, not only have you got the company upside potential, but also, as I think Alex was talking about, was that the whole macro environment, and as we know, crypto is highly correlated because it's a high risk asset which tends to trade a lot on emotion, fear and greed. And when you actually look on a historical period of where we are on that, it seems like we're certainly closer to the bottom than the top. So I think when you accompany the actual company allocation of capital and the upside you can potentially get married with the overall sentiment in the market, that usually comes together. And when I see both of those things lining up, it's usually a nice entry point. But anyway, we'd love to be able to have you as a partner, and as I said, if there's anything we can do on that side to help you understand that, we're here.
And if I may just add, when I heard this question, there is this little voice of Alex Fazel running into my head.
Okay, this is gonna get weird.
That would say, that's not the question you should ask yourself. You should ask yourself, why today is not a good moment to invest? That
is absolutely word for word. And I think I remember him saying that to me several times. Yeah. Why is that not a good time? Good quote.
And actually, you will find out that at any moment is never a good time to invest. There is always a reason why you don't want to invest. But then when you make the list of this, this list, just find out that maybe when you really feel the connection, when you feel secure about yourself, and there is a bunch of other factors that you can't really master in the world, then you should go along with it, because that's the journey must begin somewhere. And today, I think, is not a bad day. The risk-reward ratio is very good.
Thank you so much. Just a question for myself. How long are we doing this AMA for? Just because, yeah, I needed to run, but I will stick around. Benny, do we have a lot more questions? And boys.
Oh,
Oh,
look who we'll be joined by. Huh?
Damn. Hey guys, how's it going?
Alex. Oh, wow.
I thought that
Perfect.
was
Okay, you don't need me anymore. All right. No.
I thought that was Elton John was about to appear with his piano in the background.
I don't know this background. I don't know what it is. I was looking for other backgrounds, and I'm like, okay, this is the only one I have. Or if not, like my.
You're not in a ski chalet. You're not in a ski chalet in Val d'Isere, no.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I'm actually home in the ugly kitchen behind, so I had to improvise last second.
Well, we
But
love
let
that.
me SwissBorg one.
We love that. To bring you up to speed, we've been answering some questions from our community, and there's
Amazing.
been an array of questions, everything from the debit card to deployment and use of proceeds. So awesome to have you join us, Cyrus. Really cool to see you after a
And then, just like that, he disappeared.
I think it was the background changing.
background. I actually thought that was his background. All right, he's back.
I was trying to change the background, but if I do, lock me out.
Not a problem.
They would-
Listen,
For piano. One day, actually, I might buy one of those pianos because those are really unique pianos.
Cyrus, thanks for joining us. We've had an M&A now for about 50 minutes. We've got some really great questions, everything from debit card to use of proceeds. But actually, we'd love to know, how are you and how's your week been, and maybe some comments on where we're currently at would be great. I think it's been a landmark. Week for SwissBorg, and we're so proud of what everybody's doing. But love to get your take on it.
I love this week, to be honest. I don't know if it's like it's the fascination of really getting to what we are, meeting the community and just changing the world together. You know, dollar by dollar, euro by euro, franc by franc, and more importantly, just drive this beautiful community. Everyone told me like, oh, you guys gonna do a fundraise? You're never gonna do anything. I'm like, you guys don't understand here. We're not an exchange. We're not just this regular crypto, quick rich scheme type of thing that we want. We've been working for the last 6 years. We have demonstrated with our track record that we're building wealth with our community and for our community. And I think so this resonates much more to anyone else in this game. It's that's the most beautiful thing. I cried in the plane actually yesterday when I was flying from Brussels to Geneva, and I cried because of course I was tired, but I cried because I got a message. I can't remember his name. Sorry if you're listening. Um, Cyrus, what I saw last night is something that it has changed my life, SwissBorg. And I'm so proud today because I got to be partner at SwissBorg. And I'm eligible for the super, super cool debit card because I put 1,500 euros. And I said, oh, thank you so much for the trust. It means a lot and all that. I was like, yeah, I know for you, 1,500 euros, maybe not a lot, but for me, it's actually a lot of money. And, when you get that trust from that person, I could tell you one thing. Whatever happens, we're going to put the best energy that we have behind to build this together. And that's the game changer. I prefer get 1,500 from that guy to get 15 million from any VC. And I'll be much more loyal to that 1,500 to that person to any other VC. And this is exactly what this whole thing is all about. Crypto is not about getting money from a lot of these very really well sorted institutional investors. If that is a way, it's a good way, but the greatest way is to get it from the community, because at the end they will be partner, they will get all the rights, they will be able to extract the value and build even more the value with it. And that's it's really the best thing. It's really the difference between Barcelona, for example, the football team, and any other team in the world. And that's why Barcelona will, till today, it's one of the strongest team behind it, because behind Barcelona, essentially a lot of people that have been supporting it for the last 150 years. So that's really what I've had this week. It was amazing to be in Paris, to see so many, optimism. You're in Paris, you're in a difficult time, it's super cold, and everyone's super optimistic. It was like super weird. Then in Brussels was so nice to see so many people in Brussels, which was really cool. See people online, of course, and and I'm very excited to be with you next Monday, Shane, and then the day after in Zurich, then the day after in Geneva. Just, it is taking some of our energy, but the love that's coming from the community fulfills that. Yeah, fulfills that.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to make sure that we have a roadblock in London. We know that we've got a huge following, a huge user base, and we're going to make sure that it's a fun day. And were you, and I suppose one should never be surprised, but were you happy with the level of commitment that we received? Also, it looks like from Danny and Anthony's perspective, and all the engineers, it looked like it went very, very seamless from a tech standpoint, which is really, really encouraging to see. But I know how well it was planned. And also what I was very, very interested in was just how many of the community members had shown interest in the equity. And when you did the numbers, the tickets were small in a monetary size, but very, very, very long in the amount of people that committed. So that was also a nice indication.
100%. The best thing here is not to get the magic bullet with someone investing 20 million, right?
Right.
It's really getting those 1,000 euros, 1,500, 2,000 euros, or even less. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The best thing from now is that any crypto company today it'll be very hard to say like they have 10,000 partners, right?
Yeah.
And that is just going to have a real snowball effect on how we're going to be building, but how we're going to representing it. Because until now we had a really strong community. Now we have a strong partners. That's another level. That's a very different level. And not that before people are not partner, they were already partners in the mind, and they already had that ownership, but now they have the legal ownership to it, which is a status. And what I would love to see from 7,000 people that participated, I would love to see you right now today go on your LinkedIn and set investor at Swissborg, because that is the truth. You guys are now investor at Swissborg. And you could share that on every status. And we need to now to figure out how we're going to have the snowball effect to show everyone. Of course, we have this really cool thing that Callan has. Oh, I could call you Alex in this meeting, because there's not the other Alex. So Alex has put this really cool design together with a team of being partner, but we really have to have Romain is here, other people. We have to find what's a cool thing to post this on social media and make this viral. I know, Shane, you had a lot of beautiful ideas, but here now with the community, maybe people could come up with cool stuff.
Yeah, I love that idea. A partner at SwissBorg. I think that's a really cool thing. We should definitely celebrate that. And for all the community members that become partners, we should definitely send them out some piece of context or imagery where they can repost that. I think that's really, really cool.
Shane, go on Twitter and have a look at all the beautiful golden badges that are on there.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them.
We've got some great community participation and great, incredible work from our designers. I have very little to do with that. There's incredible skills at SwissBorg designing. Is it just me? But I feel like I get serenaded. We were like speaking left, right, and center. Cyrus comes in, and I'm like blown away. I'm like it's complete. Cyrus, you have a magic when you speak. You took me on an emotional journey right there, where I just felt seen and heard and serenaded and like ready to welcome you to the world. Then let's do this.
I
Thank
love
you,
that.
brother.
What other questions do we have?
I heard when is SwissBorg partner swag? Yeah, that's a great one. By the way, I'm stupid. I forgot now. Oh man, I'm so bad at names. I got this wonderful T-shirt some time ago. It's really nice. Forgot the name of the person. If you're watching, thank you very much. You see, I'm wearing this beautiful T-shirt. Yeah, partner swag. We have to do something. I know it's in the loop. I don't know if Hugo is on it right now as we speak or not, but I know it's in the loop. Okay, I'm seeing
Uh,
Danny making some eyes, so I can't talk anymore.
oh, hold
Um,
on, Alex. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
We're gonna
Look, look.
make merch all sizes because we got one small here.
Oh, come
uh,
on.
And this
Show us.
doesn't really fit yet.
Oh my God.
she's
Oh, that
beautiful.
is so cute. Oh,
I'm so sorry, boys, but I was supposed to leave at 5:30. It's now 5:45. I'm running late to my engagement, but as always, it's the best and most joyful to be
oh,
with all of you.
oh,
Thank
mate.
you so much.
We, well, we got you covered. Thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Alex. I got your back. Thanks. Oh, that was so cute. So I suppose really, where do we go from now? We got another week next week. Obviously we're going to continue to fundraise over the Christmas period. I mean, what are your plans, Cyrus and Anthony, for the next week? How available are you going to be in order to communicate and for AMAs? And then we roll on to Christmas, and then what does it look like right after kind of Christmas and into the new year?
Yeah, so Monday it's London,
Yeah.
which is going to be Jack, as you always say, Shane.
Yeah, Jack.
Tuesday we're in Zurich, which is going to be really cool. Wednesday we're going to be in Geneva, which is going to be a really good one as well. If I'm not mistaken, then in the mountains, because few people of us are in the mountains, so we're gonna have small events, drinks, and some celebration. I think so on the 20th, 29th.
Oh,
This is
cool.
gonna be for the Swiss people that are, I mean, sorry, for people that will be in Switzerland, that will be in Verbier and Grand Montana. And I think so. Those are two different small events. So anyone who's in these any of these locations, will be very glad to have you. I think so. The dates are not confirmed. I don't know if it's the 28th or 29th, but that's gonna be happening. And then next. So then online, I'm not 100% sure, but next year we're gonna still have other different tours in Dubai, Lyon, Lisbon, and I think so. Yeah, that's it. And then online, I'm sure gonna have a lot of cool things
Well, we
going
also
forward.
have an interview coming on with you on Monday with Brian Rose at London Real, and I think that's going to be excellent. And that's usually a long form interview, Cyrus. So I think that's probably going to be able to talk about a lot of the things, not only about your background, but of course about yourself and Anthony, and where you came from and your vision that you saw back then, and also I think to talk about kind of crypto in general, the state of the markets, and where we go from here. I think that's going to be an epic interview. I hope you're looking forward to it. I hope you're prepared.
I'm born prepared. But it's true, the one with Brian's gonna be, it's good because he has great formats, and I really like Brian. I think so. He's a wonderful gentleman, and he's interviewed like, I mean, the princes of the world. So it's gonna be a really cool one.
Yes, it
Looking
is.
forward to that.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
And then we're going to go on to our event in London on Monday night, and maybe what we'll do is we'll think a little bit about maybe a summary of the year. That might be nice to maybe go through some kind of key points for some context, and then of course I think it's going to be very focused on SwissBorg and our plans going forward.
that will be really awesome. I'm seeing. Yeah, I think so. We're getting to 6 million. It's a little bit shy. I think so. People, now we need to get the next step and the next step and the next step. But yeah, I think so. It's great. I think so. It's a very good start. I'm extremely proud of everyone here. I think so. The next is how we could make the referral program a little bit better. How we could bring more people into it. People. Some of them still have a little bit cold feet, but then from 6 to 12 is gonna be little bit challenging, and then when it's gonna get to 15, 16, it's gonna go zoo, like what happens in most cases. And if you guys remember, ICO was something very similar. It happened okay, then it went not so well, and then suddenly, whatever, December 31st, some fireworks happened, and then on the 7th, you know, people were begging to come in, and we didn't. We reached already our hard cap, and things are as we sing. No, I'm really bad at singing, guys. If I sing, this is not gonna help you guys to.
What is going to be the minimum contribution on the following launch projects? Anthony, have you got a view on that right now? I presume the minimums will be kept quite low, but maybe I think it's probably on a case by case basis. But love to get your input on that, Danny or Anthony.
Yeah, again, the intention, the intent of the Launchpad is to offer not only seed investment, which is what usually we see into the crypto world, but offer as well investment from different maturity. For example, with SwissBorg, you have a Series A, so of course there is a minimum commitment that you will expect. We can even think as we grow to do a Series B or C, or even maybe a pre-IPO or this type of thing. So I think it's or we can go with a very opportunistic investment at the seed level and only raise $500,000 or something like this.
I think what you've said previously is that it's a multi-asset launchpad, and I think multi-asset is not just looking at the asset, but also at multi-stages. So multi-asset, multi-stages, right? It's probably a good way to.
100%. I think so. The most important is really to understand this again, is that we will need to do not only the ones that drive the best investment, right? The guys who have the best product, but the guys who have the right philosophy, and more importantly, the great community, right? We really need to tap into those gigantic communities that will download SwissBorg app, that will buy shares of their preferred company to finally become, generation premium. This is really the growth tool of 2023, which I'm very, very, very bullish about. Um, and that could be a great game changer. Ibrahim, for you, you know what? Not only I will sing, I'll make a song about SwissBorg if in 72 hours from now we get to 10 million. So Monday nights at 6 o'clock,
Okay.
we get to 10 million. Damn, I'll make a song. I'll write the lyrics with open chat, with the chat GBT, and I'll just need someone to make some music behind,
We can do that.
and I'll make it. Okay.
That's not a problem. One of the other questions that I saw was quite interesting, and probably a nice way to start to wrap it up, was what will be the future of SwissBorg? What plans have you got post the raise, and how are you ideally located to execute on this? So yeah, maybe I'll let you kick it off, Cyrus. What is the future plans? Would be really nice, and probably some of that will come into the layers that we haven't executed on yet.
Yeah, I mean, not only on the new layers, it's as well how do you position well the new layer, the existing layers. There's as well some scalability things to be done. There's some compliance operation things to be automated and all that, and to prepare to the next big wave, right? I know that we always want to build new layers and new products and all that, but I think so there's a mix of new things and things that we need to essentially work on to make them better. And yeah, every layer has this great fortune and a great way to position SwissBorg as a big differentiator. So just talked about the multi-asset launchpad. That would be a great one, I think, in my opinion. But there's still a lot of cool other things to improve on the layer. One with the cards, for example. Two with some automation of trading. Three with lockups of different yield and how you could get to have different type of yield services. So there's so many different things, and as you realize those last 3 months, we've just been shipping not only new features, like almost new businesses all the time. So, and this is thanks to amazing people such as Danny here, and of course all the amazing engineers that we have at SwissBorg. And for that, I can only say one thing: the future is bright.
He's also got that little Alex in his ear talking to him. That's
Yeah.
Anthony just had a killer quote before you came on. Before I put it on to Anthony, I'm going to let Anthony have his last words. Danny, where are we going? Like, what does it look like after we execute a successful raise? And what are you excited about with SwissBorg, in the future?
Absolutely, it's a great question, Shane. I think I'll start specifically with the Launchpad because that's the subject of the hour. We had a great event at Brussels a few days ago where we had time a bit to explore this, and what we said there is that the Launchpad really, the capacity of the Launchpad is its multi-asset side, right? And its ability to connect both real-world assets with Web3 technology, and through that really extract new value. We have internal projections that by 2030, what we call the untangible asset market will be worth $16 trillion potentially. The potential of the Launchpad, it's really the first of its kind product where we democratize the access to not only venture capital, but it's really the democratization of private markets to entire communities. And the ability to do that is truly remarkable. So I'm extraordinarily excited about the Launchpad, among so many other things at SwissBorg. I think this Series A now is for us to convert those huge dreams that we have into reality, keep the current momentum that we have, and with incredible products, the best community in the world, be at the front of the next bull market as soon as it happens. This is the moment we can make it happen. And so, how can you not be excited at the moment? I think there's so many reasons.
I think you've just kind of really communicated something which I'm very aware of, and you just said the next bull market. I've always said to crypto, to friends in crypto, as we have such a volatile movement of asset value, the first thing that you got to do is that you got to stay in the game, right? It's like you got to stay on the horse's back, right? Like it is a rodeo, and it really feels like that. And therefore, in order to stay in the game, well, you can't have too much risk. You can't have leverage. You can't be all in on one thing. Like it's really, really smart long-term thinking. We know we're early. I say it all the time, but you've got to stay in the game. You can't make mistakes, right? And if you do make a mistake, it's got to be small and you got to learn from it. But ultimately, you got to, like a surfer, you got to be ready for that next wave, right? Like it's timing and opportunity, and preparation leads to that luck, right? It's not luck, it's absolutely success. So I'm really interested to see where we are going to be and how we're positioned. I've always thought as well that the bear markets are the best times to actually build network, build relationships, and of course, build and ship products, which what we've been doing. So I really believe that if we continue on that very, very strict, disciplined, laser focused to generate funds, execute on product, see the opportunities, stay true to our community, that when this market does hockey stick, like we know it will, we just have to be there with the right people doing the right things. Like doing the right thing is always the right thing, and that makes me excited. And so I believe we're ideally location for that bull market run. So before we finish up, I'm going to pass it over to Anthony, our Chief Strategy Officer, amongst lots of other things. And maybe you'll just give us your vision, Anthony, on where we're going to go as a team, as a gang, as a community. Anthony, I'll hand it over to you for final comments.
Thank you, Shane. I think Cyrus says something very, very important, and it's funny because, as I say, I had an interview with an influencer just before coming here, and what we say makes sense. And of course, we talk about FTX, what's the current state of the market, and what is the root cause of what we just lived. And I say, anything that you do, product that you use, or services that you use, or things that you invest in, you have to understand what their end game. What is their end game? What they are doing, and what they fight for, right? And most of the company you use the services for, you don't know what their shareholders are, you don't know who they are, what they fight for. You don't really know their mission beside what they are saying. And with us welcoming people at the capital, welcoming the community, we know for fact, by design, we don't have greedy investor pushing us with very bad practices just because they want to see growth. And I think in the past 6 months, every collapse that we witness is the result of having misalignment between people that really use the services and people that benefit from the people that are using the services. And as a result, we had people that without knowing it, take an enormous amount of risk without, at the end, if it was successful as a strategy, they will have received nothing. And I think that's the best thing we've achieved with SwissBorg, is we align the success and sometimes the failure as well with our community. And every product that we design is intended to do the same. And more than ever now that we have, on the first place, users that are as well shareholder, we have this commitment to build products that truly align what is the company interest with the community interest. And as a result, we will create the most aligned and the most successful ecosystem that will ever live because of this alignment. And it's a very hard task. We're at the very early days of that, but I'm very confident we are going to achieve this because it's in our DNA. It's not a marketing claim. It's just something that exists since the beginning.
That's awesome. It's in our DNA. I want that on a t-shirt. That's what I want. I want a SwissBorg logo and it's our DNA. Well, listen, gentlemen, this seems like a perfect time to wrap it up. What a week we've had, and I know we're only getting started. So, yeah, thank you for everybody that's tuned in, Danny, Cyrus, and Anthony. Hopefully, you'll get some family time this weekend, and we'll come back aggressive, stronger, and ready to fight on Monday. Cyrus, I look forward to seeing you in London. Your ass is mine for 24 hours.
Looking forward to it.
I'm going to make sure that we work you. Danny and Anthony, also great. Thanks so much for an awesome week, guys. Shall we wrap it up right there, and we shall come back again. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the community.
As always, guys, be healthy, be wealthy, love our CHSB, and now our equity too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Great job. Great job.